button for that. But today I have a great content here for episode 59, and we're going to talk about the 4 types of networkers. And I really want you guys to think about this. What type are you, and how can you grow into the other ones? And also learn to identify, the different types of networkers in your team. So let's get right into this. And before I start, I wanted to say that I'm so excited to bring you guys all over the industry free MLM training that is generic, meaning I don't ever pitch my company or my products or anything. This industry's changed my life. This month is 10 years in the industry, and as a mom of 3, I've earned millions of dollars, and now I just want to give back to an industry that has absolutely blessed me beyond measure. And so if you have not done so, please subscribe, youtube.com/create wealth with Tara, or just go to YouTube and search Tara Wilson Lunch and Learn, and never miss an episode. And please feel free to tag anybody. And guys, one thing I know is that friends do what friends do. So why don't you guys take a moment and hit the share button and share this to your Facebooks and to your teams, because this is going to be a really good training that anyone in the network marketing industry can definitely benefit from. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the 4 types of network marketers, and I want you to kind of be thinking, which one are you? And let's help you grow into the other ones. And I can't even see. Oh yeah, I can kind of see. Okay, good. It's looking good, because I've got my trampoline. I would love to actually have my beautiful, jasmine or my lawn or something, but unfortunately the sun isn't very forgiving today, and this is the only way I can actually not have sun in my face. So get right into it. Number 1, the first type of network marketers are consumers, or basically they're customers who should have been a customer, but the person that enrolled them decided to try to push them into the business. Now, there's 2 ways you can go with this. Number 1 is, there is a value to starting a business, even if you're not going to build it. Let's say you're on you have a product or service that's, $50 a month or $100 a month. Let's say $100. And they're going to consume it for 12 months. That's $1,200. Well, just by starting a business, even if they don't do it, from the laws and the IRS laws that I've been aware of, that you can actually show a loss for 2 years before you're required to show any kind of profit, meaning that your customer can actually, if they decide to open a business and get a position for whatever your basic kit is or whatnot, or one of your packages to save money, that they can earn for referrals. But let's say they don't refer anybody, that they can actually deduct their own auto ship, because they could be in saying, I'm testing my product out, right? And this marketing, that's really literally marketing. And I've consult with your own tax advisor, but mine always told me that it was marketing, because we are the product of our product or our service, and a testimony is actually one of our best marketing tools. So they can also, if they attempt to build a business, they can also write off things like cell phone and maybe internet or whatnot, things that they would need to build a business. Again, consult a tax advisor. But these are people that are joined just for your product or service. They're diehards. They're like if Apple ever decided to make this an MLM, trust me, I would probably join. I wouldn't, obviously I wouldn't walk away from my company, but I'm just being sarcastic. I'm an Apple head. I love Apples. I'm on my iPad. I love my Mac. Our whole family has just a zillion Apple products, right? So we're loyal product user. So these are consumers, right? And the good news about this is sometimes, if they have the seed planted in their mind that they have already started a business, which is kind of like the foot in the door tactic, which means that they open their minds to the seed of possibilities that they could possibly build a business, then, you never know. 3, 6, 9, 12 months, even 2 years later, they might say, you know what? I've had such great results, or the benefits of these products or services are so amazing for me that I do want to go out and actively share it with other people and earn some income. And these are people that usually make anywhere from $1 to maybe on the high end $400 or $500 a month. And they could be great. Believe me when I say I would love a team of 100,000 consumers, right? Of course, we want customers first, because the FTC really is adamant that we do show that we're selling to customers, not just as distributors. So don't try to force anybody into the business. Explain the options, explain the benefits, and let people decide. Let customers be customers, but if they are interested in the business, there's no downside and only some upside of getting them started, even just on a basic package that your company has or one of the lower packages, to just kind of plant that seed of entrepreneurship. And when the time's ready, they might go for it. All right, the second type of network marketer is a connector, right? These guys or gals, they're at networking events. They know everybody in town. They're the life of the party. And they're the ones that say, hey, you know what? I have a friend. Guys, I'm so sorry. I can't read any of the comments because their glare on the screen is bad, but hopefully they're good. All right. Good. Hi, everybody. They're really good at recruiting because they're like, hey, my friend Tara, she's done this, and you got to meet her, right? They're the ones that know. They're at the baseball games and every parent knows them. They're at the church and everyone knows them. And hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone. And they're the ones that can connect someone to a good opportunity. They might even enroll people. They're not going to be good at follow-up. They're not going to be good at team building. They're not your future leaders, and they're just a type of person that loves to connect people into the opportunity. Now, the good news is I have had a couple connectors in my business, and they have made multiple six-figure incomes in companies because they were so good at seeing what I was doing, taking time to, come to a couple opportunities, and then go and say, hey, you got to do this. I don't want to do this, but I think you should do this, and I don't mind getting paid off of it. I would have a team full of connectors too, right? Connectors, put a 1 in the comment if you're a connector, right? If you're a connector. And this is good because connectors are the lifeblood of network marketing. I mean, we always want to be connected, right? Referrals have changed my life. If you guys haven't watched the corridor principle, it's one of my earlier episodes. I want to say it's episode 4. And it talks about connecting, people. 3 people referred to me in my first 4 months of the industry that by people who didn't actively build the business. And those people launched my career, earned me a multiple six-figure income in my first year in network marketing. And referrals, connectors are extraordinarily important because, again, we're marketing to your network. Why not get a connector educated and let them bring people to you? And again, do not expect them, even if they decide to sign up and take a position, do not expect them to do anything more than keep pushing people to the calls and pushing people to the meetings. They're not going to probably travel to markets. They're not going to be in living rooms. They're not going to be presenting. They're not going to be leading. They're not going to be mentoring. They're going to be bringing people. The good news is if you have a great system in your company or in your team, usually the people that they do bring in are able to plug right in the system, get involved, and actually, you can find 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 that you can really run with. And that's what I've done. And I do not dismiss the connectors. I know a lot of people, attention leaders out there, a lot of people want to say, oh, they signed up and they signed 5 people up and they abandoned them. No, they didn't abandon them. It's just not their personality. They're just connectors. They're not team builders. If you understand this, then you will understand instead of getting mad or angry, upset at that person, you will grow and nurture that person to get them to continue to bring people into your network and into your team that you can dive in and you can connect with and that you can help to build a legacy with. So do not dismiss your connectors. Don't be angry at them. Don't be mad at them. Love on them. Appreciate them. Thank them. Recognize them. And they will continue connecting you, especially when they're getting paychecks over and over again for being a valued and a very successful connector. So connectors. Number 3 is builders. Now, I'm also going to talk about 3 different kinds of builders because there's 3 different levels of builders that will come into your team, right? Builders will take action. They'll get on calls. They'll make their list. They'll put in the work. But what are the 3 types of builders? Now, this is very important to identify because not everyone is going to be the one, right? Not everyone's going to be that guy that goes to the top. So the first type of builder, I don't really like this word. I'm going to call, some people call them posers. I like to call them dabblers. I like to call them, they just toe in the water people, right? They make a mental list of 2, 4, 5, 10 people and they just kind of sit back in their little comfort zone, and they're kind of peeking into their network saying, oh, I think that person might do it. I think that person might do it. I think that person might do it. They don't really have an all-in mentality. They don't really see the big vision. They're comfortable with their work or their job or their life or being a stay-at-home mom or being a retiree. And they literally will just make a few lists and they'll call 5 to 10 people. If it doesn't work, they're out, right? Those are the dabblers. Now, can you take a dabbler into the next level? Of course you can, right? If you start growing them and say, hey, dabbler, that's a really bad word too, posers, dabblers, toe in the water guy, whatever you want to call it. We'll call him network marketing light, whatever you want to call him. Hey, I really appreciate you and the fact that you even took the leap of faith with me. Get on the team calls, maybe try to invest some money and come to the next, global event. Try to see the big vision. And, I think you'd be really good. Let's work together, right? Let's look at their list, because if they've only had a list of 3, 4, 5 people and hopes they join, if they don't join, they're out. You're missing out on a whole network, right? Because network marketing means marketing to your network. If everybody knew 100 people, which everybody knows 100 people, who knew 100 people, who knew 100 people, that's 1 million people in your first 3 generations of your network. That's how I've never cold called a day in my life, because I'm good at getting in people's network. Sometimes the dabblers or the network marketing posers or light, they don't want you to get in their network because they're too cool for school. They're like, oh, well, I'm a lawyer, and if these 3 stay-at-home moms that I know don't want to do it, I'm out. That's fine. Or you see what I'm saying? But sometimes they are willing to let you get into their network as long as you're doing the work, right? As long as you're doing the presenting, as long as you're taking the punches at the front of the room by all their skeptical friends, right? As long as you're taking the heat, they're okay. So sometimes you can actually take those people, really dive in and say, okay, here's what we're doing. Here's who we're looking for. And give them examples. Who do you know who works out? Who do you know who is a college student? Who do you know who is a retiree? Who do you know who's an entrepreneur, a business person, a wellness professional, whatever pertains to your product or service? Who do you know who? And get them thinking, right? So if you can take a dabbler, and by the way, the dabblers are the ones that end up in the MLM graveyard. You know why? Because nobody notices them. Because they went through their mental list, they haven't done anything, and they fade into the background. But if you've enrolled a dabbler, it is your responsibility to at least attempt to get them launched correctly. Give me a 2 if you have a dabbler on your team. If you're a dabbler and you're ready to go to the next level, give me a 2 if you're a dabbler. Give me a 3 if you are a dabbler and you're ready to take this to the next level. If you're a 3, I will reach out to you personally and say, okay, let's stop dabbling, right? Or I'll get your upline, or you'll get your leader, or you reach out to your upline and say, I'm ready to stop dabbling. I'm ready to stop, get my toe out of the water and go into the deep end and learn how to swim and learn how to make some real money. But the bottom line is there are always going to be dabblers. There's always going to be posers, and they won't make 3 to 5 phone calls. They're definitely not going to last 3 to 5 months, or 3 to 5 years is what it really takes to get a really good grip on this industry. I mean, even though I was making a multi-6-figure income within my first year of network marketing, I didn't understand it until probably my 5th or 6th year. I finally got it. It took me $1 million and burning through a lot of people to really, really get it. And since then, I've paid for, John C. Maxwell, $12,000 for leadership coaching. I've gone to Tony Robbins. I've gone to Danny, and I constantly growing my skill set. And even after 10 years, I'm still learning every day, right? This is a work in progress. It would be like a doctor or a surgeon that stops learning. God, would you ever want a surgeon cutting up in your brain that doesn't know the newest, safest, most proven techniques? Of course not. Constantly be growing in your network marketing profession to get to where you really want to be. All right. The second type of builders is amateurs. Now, these are people who have a written list of 100 prospects. They're ready to go, but they charge out there with excitement. They're not willing to really learn the skill of network marketing. They're not willing to read a couple books, right? I apologize. I would love to have the 5 books that I do recommend on you. They're in my office because I got kicked out of my house because my housekeepers are here. But they have a lot of excitement, but not a lot of skill, and they're not willing to take their skill to the next level. Now, these guys show up at the meetings, they show up at the global events, they show up on the team calls, but they're not really super coachable. And they're just burning through contacts. Now, I'll take a bunch of amateurs because I think you can grab 1 or 2 amateurs or grab someone in their network and run. I mean, guys, don't underestimate the fact that 3 people like you, 3 people that are the next level, can take you to $1 million income. 3 people. It took me 3 people in my first company to get to a multi 6-figure income, and 3 people, probably 3 to 5 people in my second company to go to a 7-figure income. So guys, please don't discount the amateurs. Make sure they understand. Get them plugged into your team system. Get them plugged in to your team calls, and try to get them to learn something, to go on the websites and learn the comp plan, to go and learn about your products or your services, to learn about the industry. My 5 favorite books that I recommend that everybody who's brand new in the profession read is, number 1, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you don't know this already, this is not a sales business. This is a people business. It is about building relationships with people and you helping them get the dream that you're constantly selling them, and building rapport and building trust and building relationships. Number 1 book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Number 2 is Go Pro by Eric Worre. Extraordinary mentor of mine. I just came off last week of his women's leadership event in Las Vegas. About 5,000 women there. Amazing women all over the planet who have made multiple 7- and 8-figure incomes. So learning from them how they've created a legacy was an amazing event. But he wrote a book that's just really good basic skills, the techniques that stand the test of time, because there's principles and then there's techniques. He talks about the principles and gives you definitely today up-to-date techniques. It's a short book, about 150 pages or so. You can read it in like an hour or 2. It should be in the tool belt of every network marketer. It's so good, and it's relevant, and it's up to date. The third book I recommend is Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. If you have no experience as an entrepreneur or business, or you think all these myths that money comes from money, or you have to make money, or like only educated people make money, or only money, like there's so many myths out there, and you don't have to come from anywhere. You just have to make a decision to change your life. And if you change your thinking every single day, and you change the focus of your life and the activities that you do, you will change your life. This book literally changed my life. I read it my first year in network marketing, and it literally changed my life. The 4th book I read is Go for No. Now, the cool thing is the Go for No for network marketing was just launched 3 days ago, and I'm actually a featured story in it. But the Go for No, the original one, it's a classic. It's sold over 400,000 copies, and it just really teaches you, because network marketing, you're going to get a lot of rejection, and it's real, and rejection hurts. Even after 10 years, I still hate to hear the word no. Now I've learned to, create conversations and questions that I don't get a lot of no's, because I don't ask a yes or no question. I'm more like, hey, who do you know who? They don't go, well, no. It's who do you know? Who do you know that might be interested? They don't go, well, no, because I didn't ask them yes or no question, right? So I have a lot of strategies I've used, but Go for No really gives you a good mindset to be able to compartmentalize and get past the word no, and understand that no is what will take you to the top. You're not going to build a network marketing empire on yeses. You're going to build them on no's. But you can't get to the yeses until you find the no's. I mean, let's just be real. I have not had 3,500 no's. But if I had, they would have paid me $1,000 per no, because I've made $3.5 million in this industry. So if I got 3,500 no's, that would mean I got paid $1,000 per no. So if I told you I was going to give you $1,000 for every no you got, how many would you go get? Well, I promise you, if you go get those and you stick to this and you become a professional, those no's can pay you a lot of money. They can pay you $100, $500, $1,000 per no if you go out there and build this, because you won't get to the yeses until you get the no. So No for No is one of my favorites. And then my 5th one is Napoleon Hill, The Master Key to Riches. Now, this is not about money. This is about definite purpose, life, why we're here, what you're doing, masterminding, and of course being open to opportunities and making decisions. This is a classic. There's another version called Think and Grow Rich. It's a little tougher for me, but they're both Napoleon Hill. They're both some of the same principles, and they're both some of my favorites. So those are my 5, and get those books in the amateurs' hands, and you literally can catapult them into the next level, which is, for me, professionals. Right? You want a team of professionals. So we're still on the 3rd type of network marketers, which are builders, but we have the professionals. Now, the professionals approach is finding people to talk to as one of their core skills. So we all know that, you've got to create interest, and give information and then follow up and close, right? That's the funnel. Creating interest, whether you're doing it in a networking event or your school, on an airplane, and calling your network, posting on social media. The core principles of network marketing will never be different. You create interest, you give information, which is the presentation, which is either it could be a video, a call, a webinar, a Zoom, an in-person meeting, a house meeting, a three-way call, a hotel meeting, you name it. It's giving them the information and then follow up and close. Follow up. We're going to do a whole nother talk show and follow up pretty soon here, maybe tomorrow, one of the days. It's on my list for the next 2 weeks. And then closing. So this is all the same, but a professional in this industry understands. Let me hear you, by the way, if you're an amateur. Give me a 4 if you're an amateur. And give me a 5 if you're an amateur ready to go to a professional. Because if you're 4 and you're just an amateur and you're happy being an amateur and you just want to dabble in this, make $500 to $2,000 a month, that's fine. But if you want to become a professional, and this is where the big money is made, this is where the legacies are born, give me a 5 if you're ready to go be a professional.